Well, it is Men's Health Week, and we've got a whole campaign running across the entire station all this week, basically to get men up off their asses and to look after themselves a bit more. Now, there's so many aspects to men's health, and I'm really, really thrilled to have today's guest on the show. He's become a huge mental health advocate, I suppose you can call him, since his video went viral back in 2016 when he kind of told his own story and his long battle with depression. Mr. Doug Leddin, first of all, why is everybody that comes on my show so tanned lately? I've been inside so much and I'm as pasty. Anyway, Doug, how are you doing?
Amazing. I'm great. Thanks a million for having me on the show.
Doug, I'm so glad you came in to talk to me because, first of all, tell people maybe that if they don't know about you, your story, because your video went viral back in 2016. Millions of people viewed it and it touched so many people.
Yeah, I suppose I've battled with depression and anxiety since I was about 14 years of age. Having grown up, gone to no boys' school, mental health or men's health or anything wasn't something that was really talked about.
Yeah.
So when I got diagnosed with depression in St John of God's in Dublin, it was the first time I'd heard the word. I'd never heard it in school. So I grew up having kind of like a secret. I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
No one knew other than my parents and my sister that I battled with depression, that I took medication every single day. Just no one was aware. It was something I didn't want to tell people because I didn't know how they perceive it. Would I ruin my chances of getting a job when I was older? Would people look at me differently, treat me differently? And it wasn't until I moved to Galway 4 years ago when I started noticing more and more people talking about it. And in Galway, since I've been here, there's been a huge amount of suicides, and just listening to people's stories was really kind of inspiring for me and gave me confidence that people could talk about mental health. So at the age of 27 or 26 or thereabouts, I decided I was a bit fed up of living a lie. It was kind of 12 years, 13 years of taking a tablet every day, going to a psychiatrist, week in, week out, sometimes going through really difficult times and not being able to lean on my best friends or my girlfriend or anybody. No one knew. And my sister lives in Miami, and my parents, as much as I love them, we don't talk every day, and we're not best of friends. And they're not always going to be there to support me. So I felt like I needed to talk about it, and I just didn't know how to go about it. So I recorded a video where I literally pressed record and I just talked about growing up and what it was like living a life that was kind of a bit of a lie. And I spoke about my battle with depression, anxiety, stuff I'd been through, and I posted it on Facebook just so all my friends could see it. And within 24 hours, the thing had just gone wild.
It was absolutely insane what happened with the video, and I didn't know you or anything at the time, and I watched the video and I hadn't a clue who you were or about your story, and I was so moved by your entire story. And I think, Doug, that's the one thing, especially with men, I think they always say, oh, men need to be tough, men don't cry, men don't talk about their feelings, they talk about football and stuff. So but that's what really needs to change. I think that's what we're kind of talking about this for today.
Absolutely. And it's great having the likes of Galway Bay FM supporting Men's Health Week, because you're right, and we go to the pub, and as lads we have a pint of Guinness or whatever, and we talk about a football game or a rugby game or new shoes or runners or whatever. That's the most we get out of our friendships. Whereas a group of females, they go for a couple of drinks and they talk about all their emotions, their feelings, and it's amazing. That's the way it should be, and it's the way it is going with men. Like the amount of people now I've had discussions with, and friends of mine that are suffering with anxiety or looking for tips or books or apps or whatever they can get, and we are moving. There is a shift in our generation, and we're both lucky to be growing up in this generation because we can talk about it. Suicide was illegal in Ireland until the 90s. Now we're talking about it. Now we're not as embarrassed or ashamed to talk about our feelings, and it's great. It really, really is good, and it shows like this and radio stations like Galway Bay FM that are driving that forward in Ireland.
And Doug, I think we are really though opening up as a country and starting to become more aware and more open.
We are, but we have to be. In 2016, we lost 360 men to suicide in Ireland. Like, that's nearly one a day. That's scary. That's just men. And that's the ones that are reported. A lot of suicides go unreported, and for various different reasons. So it's a huge problem, and it's one that's not going to be solved overnight. Because there's no solution. There's no quick fix. If you break an arm tomorrow, you go to the hospital, you're in a cast, there's a procedure. If you suffer from anxiety, and I suffer from anxiety, we're both probably anxious about completely different things, and it's completely different approaches that we'll have to make to rectify it or to help it or to fix it. So it's a really tough subject, and it's tough for government to handle. It's tough for politicians. It's tough for doctors. It's tough for families and for the person suffering. It's tough for, because there is no solution. You can't just Google how do I stop feeling like depression? Like, how do I not want to kill myself? It's just not something that can be fixed overnight. So it's continuous support with radio stations and newspapers and media to allow people to know that it's okay to speak up. It's companies saying to their staff that if you're having a bad day, let us know. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to break the stigma. And that's what, after my video went viral, I suppose, is what I actively set out to do, was to tell people what I've gone through, to show people that everybody's human, and to kind of document my steps and what I'm doing, and giving other people support, be it of the same age or kids. And I'm finding the younger generation are so more aware and in touch with their emotions. It's amazing to see.
And Doug, just to call on your experience and kind of all you've gone through, what works for you? What kind of helps maybe keep you happy and balanced and kind of all of those things? And I know they say as well, just with anything to do with mental health, exercise is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, obviously for me, I see doctors on a regular basis, still to this day, probably once a month. But for me, like, exercise is amazing. Going to the gym, it's not to get big or to get lean or rip. It's just go in, run for a couple of minutes or 20 minutes, or go out and walk Salt Hill. Getting out, clearing your head is an amazing technique for me. It's not going to work for everybody. If you're feeling like suicide, like telling someone go for a walk, you'll feel better. It's not going to fix it, but it's going to help. And it won't do any harm. So for me, exercise is an amazing thing. Podcasts and just about meditation and mindfulness help me. I've got books. I read one recently. Am I allowed to curse on this show?
No, but we'll beep it out.
There's a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a...
Oh, I know what you mean.
Giving a F you. And it's an amazing book. And it's books like that help me and just get a kind of handle on life.
And Doug, as well, just moving away from mental health for a second, I think another always iffy kind of thing when it comes to men. Even I'm the same. I even get the heebie-jeebies sometimes when I think about it. But just men as well, they have to look after just their physical health. They should go to the doctor. They should get checkups. They should, get physicals. They should check their downstairs store. You know what I mean? What do they say? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm a bit of a rapper now here, but it is so true.
Yeah, 100%. Like you've seen it in the last kind of 5-10 years, women actively going out and getting checked.
Yeah.
You've seen the campaigns for breast cancer and just checking yourself, and women are amazing at doing it. Guys kind of don't like going to a doctor for some reason. Like, we hate them. Our dentists, everything.
Yeah, me too.
Like, if I'm sick, it takes me like days and days and days of going, I'll be fine in a day, and eventually, like, I'm like dying and like I've got the worst flu or I've got pneumonia or something, and eventually I'll go to the doctor. I don't know, I think we're like ashamed to admit that there's something wrong with us. It's like, you're human. Like, check yourself downstairs, exercise, go to the dentist, do the things that are outside your comfort zone once in a while. It's not going to hurt. Like, the doctor's there to help you, not to screw things up on you. He might give you bad news, but you might need it. And better know now than down the road when things are too late or whatever the case may be. And the same with mental health. If you're suffering, don't suffer in silence. Because that's not going to help you. Go to a doctor and don't be ashamed of it.
No, Doug, you're such an inspirational guy. It was such an interesting chat as well. And just before I go, I think the whole message kind of, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's okay not to be okay.
100%. It's like, it is a cheesy line, and it's one that every mental health advocate uses, or every amazing mental health organisation. But that's because it's true. It is okay not to be okay, and it is okay to ask for help. This is your own personal health. You only have one of you, and it can't be replaced. So you need to look after it. And if you need help, so be it. That's allowed. Don't let those dark moments get too dark, because if it get too dark, it's going to be really tough to get out of it.
To turn it around.
Very tough. Like, I grew up age 14, like a really good upbringing. I was very blessed. I didn't come from a broken family, which is a term we always hear. Or I went to a very good school, had a very good education. If I wanted a new PlayStation or whatever, I generally got it. I didn't want for anything. So when I got diagnosed with depression, I beat myself up because I had no reason to be depressed. And you can't see me, but no reason, inverted commas. Like, you don't need a reason to feel how you're feeling. I had everything I needed, but I still felt like this. If David Beckham has depression tomorrow, people can't say, well, how does he have depression? He has a mate. And that's kind of our jumping attitude towards it. It's like, Sure, he can't be depressed. He has it all.
And it is a thing people say
Absolutely.
so often. Yeah.
And it's not about things or
Yeah.
money. It's sometimes you just can't explain it. And don't beat yourself up if you're having a bad day, because that's natural. Like, sometimes I just wake up and I don't want to get out of the bed.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Sometimes I don't get out
Yeah.
of the bed. And I go, do you know what? Sod this. I'm going to stay in the bed for the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to email work and saying I'm sick.
Yeah.
And I am sick because
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to get up and go. But the next day, I make sure I get up and I get out. Or even that evening, go for a walk. It doesn't matter if you have a bad day every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's allowed. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in any of it. And it's so important to realise that and have that kind of self-belief in yourself that, yeah, today's a bad day, but tomorrow won't be. Or tomorrow might not be.
Yeah.
And that's something to look forward to and be positive about. And have your bad days. Take them. If you go through a breakup, you kind of take time to yourself and you eat your Ben & Jerry's ice cream, or you get your Domino's, or you go for a few pints with the lads and you talk about it and you get annoyed. So what's the difference? Like, embrace the bad day. Say, yeah, this is a bad day and this is why. Or maybe I can't explain it. But tomorrow's a different day and I'm going to wake up, I'm going to get a good night's sleep, I'm going to go out and do a bit of exercise, and tomorrow's going to be a better day for us. Yeah. And there is hopefully always tomorrow.
No, Doug, you're such an incredible guy, and you know what? I think you're going to help so many people by this interview on the show, and you've helped so many people already with all your video and all that kind of stuff you've been in. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Doug. It was such a pleasure chatting to you. Cheers,
Thanks a million,
buddy.
Alan. Cheers. Thanks very much.